That's a 9 out of 10 window, Ben.
Maybe even what would make it a 10? The 6?
Yeah.
Not bad. Aled Rayner says, I think you'd cause more issues with the squad not giving Kane the captaincy. Iggy, what do you reckon about that? They're saying if
sign the contract,
Kane
he gets the
isn't given
captaincy. It's as simple as that.
That'll cause more problems than giving it to him.
Listen, you know, I was doing is looking at all potential scenarios. You know, listen, Ben just said it right. You sign a contract, you get a captaincy as well. So, I think a captain, you know, it should be like anything. It should be the last one to leave the ship, really. And
if he let's say he stays in this next season and we don't give him the captaincy, isn't that just us giving out the signal that we all resign to him leaving?
Ben, Sim, I'll be honest with you. Me personally, if a player's not ready to commit, I'd look to deal now. Even with Kane. That's me.
What I'm saying, in this hypothetical, we don't do a deal by him. If he stays for next season and we don't give him the captaincy, isn't that a signal to everyone? We're sending a message out saying this guy ain't staying.
The signal's already there with him not signing.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
By doing it the other way, I think it's the same message anyway. You're giving the captain to someone who's not committed beyond next season, beyond the next season. So, listen, there is a fallback whichever way you go with it. There's no good outcome in this particular situation. You give it to him and he's not committed. You take it off him, then he's like, well, he's gone anyway. But so there's no win-win situation there. You're going to lose somewhere. You just got to look at it and say. For me personally,
armband. You can't give the captain's armband.
Man, I struggle, man. You guys have played football. You've been in football teams before. Sean, you played rugby. You know what it's like. If your captain's not, you know, he's the last one. He is the one you turn to and you're like, how can I look at you and listen to what you say? Even more so if we're going through a little bad run, giving me a rollicking and me, I can't fathom it. I can't, guys. I
agree with Iggy 1,000,000%. If Harry Kane stays plays this season, but has not signed the new contract before the season starts, and you'll know that there's a consequence there. That's the reality because there's been an offered conversation, and he said, "Nah, not interested." If that is the way that the cookie crumbles, you give him the captain's armband and sends an incredibly bad message. I can 100% agree with Iggy. I agree. You need your captain to be 1,000,000% behind the cause. The guy that you're gonna go into battle for, and that you know that he will go to fight for you in a battle. And I don't think that Harry Kane. You can't make that argument in a world where we start this season with him not having had a new contract and him still being at Tottenham. I agree with you,
guys. Honestly, I don't want to be in a situation where we leave it all the way to the end of the August and then we deal with Bayern Munich, and then we haven't given us enough time. Then everyone knows you need a striker and they're going to double the price. And you know, I think we need to act on it now. The next couple of days, 3 days, whenever, when I have a chat with Anja Postecoglou and Levy and Kane all sit together, I think the outcome of that is either he stays and you know stays for another season and knowing fully well that he's going to leave, or for me personally, I'd look to deal now so it gives us enough time to make adjustments.
Yeah,
I disagree. I wouldn't call.
It's been the case all afternoon, by the way. Yeah?
Sim's woken up and chosen violence today.
I think I can make the argument that I wouldn't call in. Look, he's our best ever goal scorer. He's a club legend. He's been with us for a very long time.
I agree.
I think that you could give him the captaincy without calling into question his ability or his wanting to fight for the badge, even though he might be leaving in a year. It doesn't mean that just because of that you have to call into question his willingness to his commitment to the badge while he's still here as our best ever player. And I think the players would still respect him even if there is a possibility of him leaving in a year's time. I think as well, by giving the captain's armband, we're sending a message that we believe we can convince him to stay. And if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. But I wouldn't want to have him stay and then not give him the captain's armband captain's armband as England captain and our best ever player, and that pretty much sends a message that we don't believe we can convince Kane to stay beyond this season. We're pretty much sending our message out to everyone, in my opinion, by doing that.
Takes two to tango, Sim.
Yes, but we have to. Yes, but Kane, I understand that. But at the end of the day, Kane might run down his contract, then sign. That's a possibility. We saw that with Mbappe. He completely ran down his contract, and then just before
and you think
it
if
went
that's
off, and he
scenario,
signed.
the difference between him running down and then signing anyway is because he wasn't given the captain's armband. I'm pretty certain that
I'm not saying it's because of that. I'm just saying it's just because he hasn't signed doesn't mean he won't sign. I think a year's a long time in football.
No, I think that the difference.
And I think Kane's well within his right. I think everyone understands Kane's situation right now. I think Kane's a very unique player to a lot of other players.
I'm not annoyed with him.
I think Kane's a very unique.
I'm not annoyed with him.
And I think he would still command the respect of the dressing room as captain, even with the year left on his contract.
I'm not annoyed with Kane's
Aren't you just delaying the problem a year?
Yeah, listen, I'm not annoyed with the situation. We know exactly what's going on with Kane, and part of us understand totally why he's doing what he's doing. I completely listen. It's the club's fault that we're in a situation where we are with Kane. There's no two ways about it. We can all agree with this. We can all agree that we should never be in this situation. Now that we are, though, we're presented with a problem that has to be addressed. And I just think that given that we have so many things to do this season, so many things that are, we want to start a rebuild, if you like, and it's going to be a season of transition. And I think this is something that needs to be addressed one way or the other. Listen, I don't doubt Kane's professionalism. I think he'll still carry the job. Ultimately, he's a goal scorer. If he stays another season, the one thing he has to guarantee is goal scoring, which he will do. But for me, this is I said it earlier on. It's a big call, whichever way you go with it. I'm not saying giving him the captain's armband is the wrong solution. I just think for me personally, there's certain things I see in a captain that for him, given the situation, is not ideal. I don't know. I just see that
would the same situation happen at Manchester City or at Manchester United? If the best player in the squad
wasn't Gundogan captain last season?
Yeah, I think it did happen at Man City this year with Gundogan.
Captain last season, and he had a year left on his contract, and he ran it down.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay, then I'll get back in my box.
Where's that mud, Sean? Get in that mud bath, mate.
Sean, you had to pick the one club. The one club.
What you're saying. Brilliant.
No, but actually, I did agree with you guys, but I think Sim has actually swayed me over on this one, to be honest, because I think what he's saying in Kane is a very unique case at this football club as well, and it's absolutely spot on. And when you're looking at captains along the pitch and captains that are going to demand respect, year or no, or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years left, Kane is that guy. He is that guy, and he's earned it over the many years he's been here.
Listen, I'm happy to go with it. I'm just saying potential scenarios that could unfold during the season. But look, for me, I wouldn't go mad. It's like, oh, why is Kane captain? Like, if that's the best option, then we go with that. I don't no problem with it at all.